Okay, I'm good.
Else get a headache, here's what I want you to do first. Eat a banana. If you eat a banana.
All right, Black Box Radio. Listen, I'm in the South Carolina studios and I'm excited because the tentacles are always in Baltimore. That's home, but I'm in South Carolina. So I want to say greetings to everyone. Thanks for coming through. We about to do some amazing stuff. This is a new series that I just thought of, and it's because this is Father's Day is coming up on Sunday, and Black men or men don't get a lot of love. It's always people go out for Mother's Day. So Father's Day, not that it's second because we love our dads, we love our fathers, but it's never as celebrated as Mother's Day, of course. Everybody loves the mom. So I really wanted to platform Black men and Black fathers. So that's important. And so this is the Black Fathers Matter series. We have 3 Black men in this series. You see that kingly brother sitting over there. We're going to introduce him in a minute, but this is our first of 3 that we will have in this series. I'm Queen. I'm a host at Black Box Radio. We are a multimedia platform illustrating Black excellence. We platform Black people. We expose Black genius. But more than anything, we disseminate information to our community and to other communities. It's important for us to have an authentic space for a Black face. So we do this 6 to 9 times a month. We have shows on this platform. And another thing, if you want to be a part of a Black authentic platform, please hit us up at blackboxradio@gmail.com. But we do have shows that come on every 3rd Sunday, every 3rd Tuesday. We have a spiritual African-centered with Dr. Dar every Sunday. So we're rich with Black content. I need you guys to tap in. I need you to like, share, subscribe. I'm going to say it again. I need you to like, share, to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're trying to build this grassroots space that is just regular people being extraordinary in their own spaces. So again, I want to say welcome, and Black fathers do matter. Being fully transparent. I graduated from Morgan. I graduated, and the same year that I graduated, I lost my father. He came to my graduation in May, and he was dead in December, 5 days before his birthday. And I think I was 24 years old. And so that was years ago. So I'm always looking at Black men. And sometimes I miss my dad. I really do. He was in my life. I grew up with a dad in my home. I'm a very fortunate young woman to see a man toil every day for their children. And so I hold him in high esteem, and I really miss him. And so I know fathers matter. I definitely know fathers matter. And that's why this series is so important. So without further ado, with all the love and respect I can conjure, I want to say welcome to our first father, Baba Ausar. Welcome to Black Box. Say hi to people.
Thank you, sister, for having me on. Hotel to everybody. It's a pleasure to be on your show. Now, why you asked me to come on your show for the first? That's my first time.
Asking questions. Let me tell you why. Because Baba. Let me tell you. I'm gonna tell the folks how when I first saw you. I first saw you at a community event, and every time I see this man, he's regal. He's in traditional dress. He looks African. He looks kingly, and so that's what drew me to when I first saw you. And you're always at community events. You're always very regal. You to me are the epitome of what a Black man should be. A father, a man in the community. I had a show with your son. I know you've raised some beautiful children. Your Dr. Dar has been a blessing to me. I love that man. I just know that to start this series, I need to have the elder, someone I highly respected, someone who would open the doors to this series and give it the love when I bring these 2 younger fathers in. because it's
Oh,
3 fathers all together. So I got 2 younger fathers coming in, and I know you would open the doors to this series and make it pop. So we had to have the elder in first, the statesman. That's why you're
I
first.
appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I had to have you first. And I want to talk to you about that. Just being Baltimore per se. I know you've seen Baltimore in many stages.
Yes.
Um, and Baltimore is a Black majority city. The demographics of the population is about 67% Black. Um, and so in that mode of Blackness, being a Black man, what do you see will be best for our community in, say, like a city like Baltimore?
Mm.
Being so
Well,
Black centered.
I guess exactly what we're doing up here. We got a lot of organization in Baltimore. You know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
that cater to young children, young men and sisters.
Yep,
Um, Nothing no more, I think, than we are already trying to do. For the help the children. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to hear people say we're not doing nothing
that's
when
true.
we are doing a lot of things. You just not there to see that. Even churches do a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? So all around the
True.
board, I think everybody's doing something. You know, and here and there you're gonna lose a few. It just happens. It's just life.
It's just life. And I love you saying that because the narrative, and I know Trumpy in Baltimore in his first term, and how Baltimore sometimes doesn't get a good rap. But being in the community, I know there's greatness going on. I know there's people who wake up every day 10 toes down to make Baltimore better. And so it's important, as you being our Baba, to hear that. Like, there is the same thing we're doing now
Mhm.
is every day trying to make it better. Because Baltimore is a beautiful place. It definitely is a beautiful place. So, Bob, I want us to know a little bit about you before we kind of step in. I wanted to talk about Baltimore immediately because I miss home. I'll be there, guys. I'll be there next week. So I'm on my way. I'm on my way back. But I definitely want to. I definitely want to know, like, who you are, where you came from. Tell us a little bit about you.
Okay. Um, I'm from Virginia. First of all, I was born and raised in a little small town, and it's called Meherrin, Virginia.
Hmm.
Meherrin, Virginia, is actually a Indian tribe name. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Right. So when we was little, we used to find little Indian head rocks, arrows and everything around. But yeah, that's where I'm from. A small little town. Um, my father's name is Preston Winkler. Well, Preston Lewis Winkler, and my mother's name is Eva Stokes.
Hmm.
I didn't know my grandparents because they had died out. Let's say I seen my grandfather um, in my I can remember him maybe several times going to his house. But I was 3 years old when he passed. And that's how I know
Hmm.
3 years old, because when he passed, that was the first time I actually seen my mother cry. I have never seen my mother cry before. So that was like, oh man, what's going on? Something gotta be going on. And
You
then that's
see
when
it?
he told me grandpa had passed, you see. Yeah, so I
Wow.
go back to that. Actually, my father was a railroad man, um, and he also was a barber. When he retired, he became a barber. That's our trademark right there. And my mother was a housewife. She took care of everything. We did, like in the country, we did canning. We had we had a farm. I was raised on a farm. Let me get that straight too. I
That's what's up.
had a cow named Pinky.
I love
had,
it.
had had hogs and pigs. My father was married twice. When his first wife passed, he married my mother. So I'm the last actually of 21 children. Right. So but we never
Hold up. You can't drop 21 on us. No, you got to slow down. So your dad sired 21 children
yes. Yes.
and 2 women.
Yes. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Got it. Let's go.
Right.
Beautiful. Okay.
And but his law was that we was not half brothers and half sisters. So we never looked at each other as being a half or anything. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Because even my mother, was a younger one. Wow, that's an interesting story. Okay. So here it is. So my father, after his wife had, of course, years later, couple years later, he had his eye, I guess, on my mother, right? And
I love it.
he met. Now this is where today people will look at it one way out of it, but you got to remember this was back in the time. My mother was 16 years old. My father was like maybe 29, 30, something like that. But see,
but that's regular. That was regular back in the day.
Yeah,
that
it was
regular.
The thing about it was this: women back in those days was already made to be a mother.
Mothers.
You know what I'm saying? They knew how to do things because the family raised them like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying about her father, my grandfather. I just found out this week. His name is Elliot Stokes, right? That's my grandfather's name. But I found out that just this week that he didn't, when he got married to my grandmother, he didn't want to have his slave master's name because he didn't like him that much, where he chose her last name. So her last name is a Stokes, not his. So I really don't know my grandfather's last name. Probably he had the last name of the slave master. That's where I look at it. You know Yeah, but that was real powerful to me because
that's powerful.
Yeah, because you know he was like, no, I don't have nothing to do with that. I'm changing, and I respected that. You know what I'm saying?
I respect
that. Yeah, and my grandfather, because I keep saying my grandfather, that's the only grandparent I ever knew. Everybody else had passed on.
Okay.
But my grandfather,
because you're the youngest, 21, so everybody had already transitioned. Am I correct?
Yeah, a lot of people had. Yeah, I knew some of my uncles and stuff like that, and some of my aunts. You know what I'm saying? My father, I knew his half brother when it comes to his family. That was Uncle Buck. Yeah. Uncle Buck. But my let's see where it was. I got lost on track. My let's see. Oh yeah. So my father married my mother. She was 16 years old. But see, the thing about it is that she knew what to do. She was a woman during that time. So my mother birthed 11 children by my father, and I've been the last. Yeah.
So, you know, and to put proper context, not that I was born then, but women weren't reared to work. They were reared to be mothers and nurturers. That was young girls were that was a natural progression. We're now career women and doing our ting, but women were reared to raise families and to nurture children. So early on, they knew what to do. They were cooking and cleaning and sewing young. Am I correct?
Well,
that's what
my mother worked in an orchard. See, down my way we had apples and stuff like that. So my father was like a supervisor over orchard down there. So my mother and all the ladies, she told stories about you have a child today, put them on your back and still be out in the field in the orchard.
So they still had to work.
They worked.
Wow.
You understand?
They worked.
So that's
wow. So they was
and down Virginia we have peaches, apples, etc., pears, stuff like that. Yeah, I wish they had oranges, but we don't.
Yeah, we're having a little technical. Let me ask you a question. So, how many kids did the first wife have?
10.
You hear me, Baba?
Yeah, 10.
10.
Yeah.
And then your mom had
11.
12. 11. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 21. Sorry, pardon me. 21. Right. So, oh wow. So your dad, he didn't believe in single numbers. That wasn't the way he didn't believe in 6, 7, 8, 9.
Well, I had told one elder that, and he said, "Good gracious, what other job did your father have?" But my father was busy. Yeah, and he was a railroad man. Yeah, and that was during that time. That was actually very hard work. You know what I'm saying? And the pay was kind of good also. Well, put it this way. He told me
for that time.
If I remember during that time, I think he might have made $15 a week or even a month. I can't think of it right now. And that was a
It's
lot of
pretty
fun.
big cash. Yeah,
But
that's
see
big
what I'm saying?
cash. It's pretty big
They
cash.
got barrels of flour. And anybody that know, if you lived in the country then, we didn't go to the market for anything but sugar, flour.
For
And because we
anything.
canned all our foods, we had our meat in the smokehouse. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it was beautiful, you know. And the 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 women used to sit around. Let me draw you a little picture of it. The women used to sit around and snaps. You know what that is?
Beans.
Yeah,
Is that
snap.
stuff? Yeah.
They had it on, and they all be snapping and talking and discussing. You know what I'm
I'm in
saying?
South Carolina. I know how
Yeah,
that
okay.
rolls. Yeah.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
snap the
And
beans. Yeah.
right.
That's what's
And then,
wow.
like, say for instance, in the wintertime, we had hogs. We call them hog. You know, we had hog. We had stock. We had a cow. Like I said, her name was Pinky. But if my father would go up to Mahern, the little town, and my father would say, "Well, I'm killing hogs next week." Now he didn't ask anybody to come. He didn't say, "Jim, can you come? Joe, can you come?" He just mentioned he was killing hogs next week. And that Saturday morning, early in the morning, you see people coming up the house, coming up the road, as we call it. Coming up, yeah, just coming up the road because it's like a big festival now. The women came
Really?
there. Oh yeah, and they had when we used to play sharp shooter, right? We had two shooters to kill the hogs and see which one was better. You know, who can hit in the middle here. I mean, it was
What?
it was an event, yeah. But we
But
made
what
it
I'm
like
saying is, you see how Black people we make our spaces. We make fun. We made community. All killing the hog. Everybody eat together. Everybody share the meat. You know what I'm saying?
well,
And you got a
the
game
thing
man.
about it now, we didn't share the meat. They came up to help us kill the hog. Now check it out,
We did.
check it out. But see, the thing about it is that next week somebody else gonna be killing hogs.
This is a thing. I got it.
Yeah,
Got it.
you don't
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
ask somebody to come. Everybody just gonna come because that's what they did. You know what I'm saying? The women. The first thing I don't know if people know it, but when you kill a hog, the first thing you do, you split them down the middle, and he's hanging up, and the what y'all call the guts come out. You know what they call chillings, right? And those things be the first thing we go into the house. You see the women with the chillings and the thing, the steam coming
And
out.
cleaning them chilies, baby.
Yeah, and the steam coming off, right? Because
Yeah.
see, you kill hogs. Well, you kill hogs in the wintertime most of the time. Not unless you're gonna have a barbecue, you kill that hog that day. But most of the time, you kill hogs in the wintertime. And it's a process of killing hogs. The month or so before you kill a hog or so, you don't feed them certain things. You feed them only like corn grain to clean them out
Yeah.
real good. You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
then we had smoke. My father was very good at smoking meat. People used to ask him smoke meat. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I look at that, and then we look at our food now. It's a big difference. Although, yeah, we was eating a lot of pork and everything back in but that's what it was. You know what I'm
But
saying? Yeah.
the lifestyle was different. You were out in the sun. You were sweating. You know, it's different when you're more active. Now we get in cars. We're cute, and you know we go up to the drive-through. You know what I'm saying?
But
So
see,
it's a different world.
the hogs ate exactly what we ate. We call it
Ooh,
slop. We call it
slop, baby.
slop.
Yeah.
Once you put everything, you call it slop. You get the feed, you put
My
the
uncle used to do
everything,
that.
you mix with the water, and you feed them slop, and they ate everything.
Yeah.
But then, like I say, the process before you kill that hog or pig, you fed them only grain to help clean them out.
Clean them out. Yeah.
Yeah. So and it was our land. You know, me being a child, I'll tell you a story. Me being a child, you know, I was friends. I always liked animals, and I took the little piglets or hogs like a pet to me, right? And
Yeah.
and I got my heart broken because I didn't know the pet was gonna be on the table next week. You know what I'm saying? So
The
so when
pet
I
is gonna
found,
be on the table,
I didn't know
baby.
that. So when they killed the hogs, and I was like, wow. So y'all killed the hogs, and yeah, my mother said, yeah, this is the sausages and stuff. So in my little mind, I protested. Right now that I look back at it, so I told him I wasn't eating none of it.
I
I
love
wouldn't eat. I wouldn't eat none of it. Serious, that's truthful.
you.
And
Wouldn't eat
so my
none of
mother,
the meat. Wow. You wouldn't
No,
eat any of the meat?
no. But see, my mother, being a loving mother she is, she said, this fool just don't know. She said probably he what she did do, she did this. And I was thinking about that thing a couple of weeks ago. I said, you know what? Mom probably only bought 1 pack of sausages. So because we did, she went to the store and bought 1 pack of sausages. She said, this is not the pigs, so you can eat sausages. You know what I'm saying? I seen the thing. So now, you know, it's still pig,
Tricking.
but it's not my little pig. You understand what I'm saying? And she used to feed me the sausages every morning. But I think about it. I was like, she probably only bought 1 bag of sausages and just put each day, put them sausages in that bag. You understand what I'm saying?
You better know it. She tricked you, buddy. She got 11 kids.
She respected my little protest. You know what I'm saying?
That's a loving mother right there. Because she's like, I got 11 kids. He gonna eat this daggone pork. He don't even know. He gonna eat every piglet. I love that. I definitely love that. So I'm hearing a whole nother side of you. So you grew up on a farm and you had a lot of siblings, and now you're in Baltimore. That's amazing. That's a great backstory.
But see, Baltimore was the homeland for us. Was not the homeland. Baltimore was the trademark for us to come up and as a great migrate, I guess. You know, back in those days, everybody was working at Spurs Point. Right, Spurs Point was big. Everybody was working at Spurs Point, so people moved up in Baltimore. So my family was Baltimoreans, all of them, just about. They all came to Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
they came to the steel mill. Everybody. Jobs was why people migrated. Okay, so you came out of that small town to work, and so Baltimore became home.
Well, when I left Virginia myself, I was leaving because I had got tired of Virginia, of course. You know what I'm saying? Nothing here. I said, Mom, I gotta go. She don't want me to go, but let me see. I worked enough to get a ticket because Mom thought I was joking, and she didn't want me to leave. You know how mothers is. You know what I'm saying? She was a little controlling daughter at the time. You know, her baby, my baby. So I think I might even sold some clothes or something. I got a ticket. The ticket, and I got $20.
$20? $20?
Yeah, but see, that's all I needed to get up Baltimore.
Wow.
I paid I think the ticket was like 12 something then at the most. So when I got to DC, to stop at DC, I bought me a hot dog, a drink, and fries. So by the time I got to Baltimore, I think I might have had 11 cents in my pocket. You understand what I'm saying?
You had to make it happen. I love it.
But the thing about it, I didn't need to have anything. I had Big Mama, as they call her. Big Mama was my sister. Her name was Rosa Muller. You know, Rosa. Wow. We call her Rosa May. You know how them country names. We had James Earl, Rosa May, Robert Lewis.
Yeah. So you came out to your sister. You were so young. You had grown siblings, older siblings.
Well, yes, yeah. I had a child. Okay, let's do this then. So before I came to Baltimore, I had my first child at 15 years old. And that was with my wife. She had moved from Baltimore, and I met my wife up at we had this we call it Ghana restaurant. We call it Steve's Restaurant. It was Ghana restaurant actually, and it was a dance hall. You know, Friday night dance hall, Saturday dance hall, Sunday a little bit. Monday, nothing happened. Tuesday, all the way up to Friday again. That's why people used to love Friday so much. You know what I'm saying? So Friday coming, you know. So that's where I met my lady up there, you know. And she was freshly from Baltimore, and I misdirected her a little bit, and I told her that I came to Baltimore frequently, a lot. And I really did. I had all my clothes came from Baltimore. I don't know if you know what that means or not. I got all my clothes from Baltimore because my sisters and brothers up here, like Silk and Rules, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? We was wearing. So, and in those days, we had a thing we call hand-me-downs, which they don't have no more, I don't think. Do they?
Not really. It's not. Yeah, everybody want to be fresh. They want to buy it themselves. That's unfortunate.
Right. Yeah. We had hand-me-downs. So I had most of my hand-me-downs coming from Baltimore, if you know what I mean. So
Yeah, so
all
you
my
was fresh.
clothes and dress, in the country was like a city boy in a sense.
You was
But
fly. Yeah, you was slick. Yeah, yeah, I get
yeah,
it. You was bringing that flavor to
yeah,
the
yeah,
farm. I get it.
yeah.
That's funny. So you came to Baltimore and you had a child. So you married. You have more children. So you have how many children do you have altogether? 4, right?
Yes, I have 4 children, 8 grandchildren, and 4 great grandchildren.
Beautiful story. Beautiful children. So listen,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
are a consummate father. A
yeah. So
consummate father.
I met my lady when we was on 15, and
Whoa.
so she came from Baltimore, and it was her and her sister, the first woman I ever met, and I was like, wow. So I guess I fell head over heels and blah blah blah, and um and we ended up staying together. I mean, still together.
That's beautiful. How long?
51 years coming up.
That
No,
listen,
51 years. Yeah, 51 years. Yeah.
you don't hear much of that anymore. That's a beautiful story. I love to hear
Yeah.
that. That's what I'm talking.
Now, of course, it's this. In those 51 years, we go through trials and tribulation,
Of
because
course.
and everything, because we was real young when we got, But she told me when she had the child, she said, when we get married, I said, married. I'm like, nah, um, I'm still in school. I ain't getting no married. You know what I'm saying? So I told her this though. I told her this. I said, if we still together, when I graduate, we'll get married.
And
And
it's
that was
high school.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I was 15. She was 14.
15.
So we're still in school. So
Mhm.
after I finished school in 1974. I got married in 1974. When I came off stage, I gave her my gown and I was going to say goodbye to everybody. And she held me for a minute. She said, "When we get married?" And I was like, she could, keep me to my word. You said after you
Ain't
walk
playing
on
with
that
you.
stage. That's what you said, right? And
Right at the door. I
so
like
that was 74, and I got married in 74 in August the 16th. Yeah.
it.
So, right. Right.
Wow, listen, your wife ain't playing. She like, listen, it's time to marry. You said to wait till you
Yeah,
get out of school.
she caught me in the collar. There. I was like, okay, all right, I got you. But yeah, and I would say that and she was a blessing because we help each other out. And I think by us like really growing up together.
Yes,
We wasn't, and we laugh at that now, and we laugh like we see a 15-year-old person, a 14-year-old person, and we like, we was there, we thought we was grown. You know what I'm
yes,
saying?
yes,
Yeah, and we laugh,
yes.
and I'm like, well, we really did think he was grown, and I can see these children today thinking they was grown, you know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
yeah, that was something else. Yeah, yeah.
I like you saying that because sometimes, we get to a certain age and we forget how we were at 15. We say, oh, they should
Oh
know.
yeah.
But we forget that we were just like them. Like we thought we knew everything. We thought we had the world. We knew where to go, what to do. So you got to give grace to the young people because they only doing what we did. We watch a performance that they're performing.
Well,
So.
I was that guy that said, I don't want to be a goody two-shoe Winkler. That sounds crazy, don't it? But I'm young. All right.
Yeah.
So I even ran away from home. Right. I never
In the
forget it.
country.
Yeah. I went to Farmville, the big town. I had some buddies up there and all that kind of stuff, right? Farmville is 20
Mm-hmm.
miles away from there. So my mother was upset, screaming, boo-hooing. And my father was sitting down. He said, Eva, let him go. And I was like, made me even madder. Cause I said, damn, he don't even
He
love
don't
me.
care. He
He
don't
don't
care.
care. Right. That's how I feel. He don't care. But not knowing what he was doing. And now that I think back at it, and I left. To make
Mm-hmm.
long story short, I left. I was working at a supermarket, so I was making a little money. Me and my homeboys was making money. You know what I'm saying? At the supermarket. And so just as soon as I left, and my father told me like he didn't even care. I stayed with them for about, I guess, maybe 2 months, maybe three maybe 2 months at the most. And I ran away from them.
Wow.
Yeah, because I had to. You know, our room was, I don't know if y'all know about psychedelic colors, you know, spread paint and all that kind of the what they call it, the purple light.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Back in those
Yeah.
days like that.
Back in the day, yeah.
And we had an older guy. He had a house that some of his people had left him. I think his grandmother, somebody had passed away. So he had a house. He was maybe, you know, you always had somebody, maybe he was like 20, something like that. And we was 15, 16, like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so we went to stay over his house. We working at the market. We bringing food back. We bringing money back. You know what I'm saying? And supermarkets during those days sold wine, right? Yeah, it sold wine in the country. And so we had the wine too. You understand what I'm saying?
They selling
But
wine down here in the country. They selling it right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Selling wine.
And like I said, I was young. So the lesson that I learned from that was that you can't party every day.
Ooh, you better know it.
You can't party every day. So that's why I ran away from them, because we was
No
partying
stress.
too much.
No stress.
And yeah. And then I had met my lady too. See, that helped too. So I took my butt back home. And the funniest thing about it was this. My father always sat at the window, looking out the window. And I used to say, what that man looking out the window all the time for? Now I know, you know, because my father, like I say, I don't think I told you that. My father was born in 1884.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So here I am, the last child, trying to be the baddest little thing in the world. And he looking at me like, son, I really done seen all this play out before. You just haven't seen it play out. You understand what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
When I got back to the house, I never forget it. I called mom because I had left the guys early in the morning. I called mom. I said, Mom, can you come? So we had to go to the telephone booth, if you know what I mean. We didn't have cell phones. So I had to walk to the telephone booth, call my mother up, and I said, Mom, can you come pick me up? And of course, her mother. She said, son, this is your house always, of course. She coming over there to pick me up. So after I get home, I walk up the steps, and my father at that window, looking out that window. And he seen me, and he said, how you doing? And I was like, I'm good. I want to tell her, I'm so glad to be home. But as I reflect back on that time right there, me being, you know, I thought I was, as a contributor, you smelling yourself. You know what I'm saying? So by me smelling myself, that ain't nothing my father never seen before. You see? So he said the lesson to be is him to live it. I ain't gonna try to stop, like my mother was trying to stop me. Yeah. But when I came back home, he looked at me and said, how you doing? I said, I'm good. But I was,
you're back.
Yes, yeah. And I must say, my father was my father and my mother was really good parents. My father was a excellent parent to me because of his wisdom. He was never an excited person. Now, my mother had reason to be excited because she was taking care of them children, and we was getting on her nerves. You understand what I'm saying? So
but your dad had a lot of rehearsal. He had 20 rehearsals before you.
I came up in a time when they used to beat you. They used to tell you go outside and get a switch.
Get the switch. Yes, right.
Get a switch. You go outside to get the weapon that I'm gonna beat you with, and you get it yourself. So, you know, I got plenty of stories on that. You know what I'm saying? And I mustn't forget I got this one switch I knew was gonna fall apart because it was rotten. And when she went to hit me, the whole switch broke apart. You know what I'm saying? But I paid for that. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is this. I know people might hear this and think about, wow, that was torture and all that. But it was like kind of sort of the norm. So I not only got beat with the switch, the boy next door did too. Up the road did. Everybody, if you did something wrong, you got
no kind of norm. It was norm.
Right. Now they didn't kill you.
But
You
they
understand
beat
what
you.
I'm saying? But it showed you we had most definitely a lot of respect. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? They said something, we did it. It's nothing to it. Like me, my little rebellious self, of course. And I look back at that and I said that's cool too, because I'm a teacher now, let's say, and I never forget this little one girl. Man, she had fire in her, but uncontrollable fire. So I heard tell her one time, and he was really mad at her. He the way he looked at her, he really wanted to shake her, but he didn't. And I never forget, I told her, I said, look here, young lady. I said, I like your fire. I said, but you need to know how to control your fire. I said, because you got the same fire as Harriet Tubman. You understand what I'm saying? That's the fire that you need. But once you learn how to control it, it's okay. So I look back at myself when I ran away. I wanted to be some kind of way me. Like I said, I didn't want to be that good at thrU Winkler. Because I knew all the Winklers, they abide by the law. You understand what I'm saying? The law of the house. You understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. You want
And
to
and
break the
and
law.
I think I was a little rebellious. You know what I'm saying? But it taught me
Mm,
a lot of, you know,
a lot of
and
lessons.
yeah, a lot of lessons. And I got the like I say, when I met my lady for the first time, and then you want to hear a story? This is so I want to go to Steve's, right? And my mother, she says, no, you're not going anywhere tonight. And I was like, but Mom, I gotta go. This this was, I just seen my lady last week. I gotta see her this week to try to put some more fire in the stove. You know what I'm saying? Some more logs in the stove. A wrap. We used to call it a wrapping then. You know what I'm saying? I don't have her yet. I'm trying to wrap, but I like her. And my mother said, no, you're not going because you didn't. I don't know what I didn't do. I, I don't know what I didn't do, but Mom said I wasn't going. And man, I was so upset. I was like, I'm young. I like all them guys gonna be hitting on her, and she knew, and I can't have that. You know what I'm saying? In my mind, I can't have that. So I went and asked my father. I said, Daddy, I explained it to him. I said, look, I just met this girl, Daddy. I kind of like her, and so, and I told him a little story. He said, look, you go ahead up there. I'll take care of your mother. Exactly. Man, I was walking down that hill. My mother seen me walk down that hill. She was hollering at me all the way down the hill and up the road. Because we get to go down the hill and go up the road. She was hollering at me, don't you bring your butt back to this house because I told you don't leave. She ain't no daddy gave me the pass yet, see? You see what I'm saying?
Mm,
Ain't no daddy gave
mm-hmm.
me that pass. So I went on about my business. And yeah, the result is I got my lady, right? And
I bet you got
then,
that lady though.
yeah, and then I came back home. Mom wasn't upset because Daddy had got her straight. Also, he told her that
Yeah.
I had his permission. Now let's move forward to my son.
Wait,
Let me show you.
before you go there. Wait,
Yeah,
before you go there. Because I want to I love these stories. I want to make a gag because you had a first child. So how did all of this help you be a father? That's what I want to hear, like from your first, because you had a young child, very
yeah.
young. You
I named
grew
her
up with
Latanya. Latanya.
Latanya.
Yeah,
Okay,
Latanya. Right. Latanya's my
Latanya. So
first.
how did this help you be a father? All of these things and being with your parent and being so young.
Well, look, here you go, right here. So I told my mother, of course, that I had a girl pregnant. And I
Ooh.
told her that she had to tell Daddy. Because I wasn't telling Daddy that I had this girl pregnant. You understand what I'm saying? So she told my father that I had one on the way. So he came and he told me, he said, I heard you got a young lady pregnant. I said, yeah. I said, yes, sir. He said, He said, well, you know what to do. And that's the only talk he gave me. I wondered about
That's it.
that. Right? That's it. That's the only talk he gave me. He said, you know what to do.
Wow.
And that's on the dog. Now that I look back at that, he was saying that, look at me. Look how I did it. I had all these children and I raised all these children. Now you got a child, raise your child. I done told you how to be a man. I done taught you how to be a man. Now you think you're a man before you're a man, but you got that. and that was it.
Wow. So he didn't nothing else. Just lead by example. Wow.
He said, now I look back at that, and that's what he said. He said, you know what to do.
You know
That's
what to
it.
do.
You know what to do.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I look back
So
at that, well, I guess I know what to do because they treated me well. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and you saw a lot of fathering before you. You know, you saw a lot
Yeah.
of parenting. You know, being the youngest, and you were parented by your siblings, I'm sure. So you had a lot of practice. you
Yeah.
had a
And
lot of
so, my father used to tell me this. He used to say, when you just go out, when we get to go out, he said, look here, hold on. He said, now when you walk out that door, he said, remember, you're a Winkler. And I was like, yeah. I know that. He said, no, you're a Winkler. He said, that means that you had to represent a Winkler.
Mm.
Yeah. Now I look back at that and I was like, he didn't say nothing about being black or nothing. He just said you're a Winkler. You see what I'm
You're
saying? Yeah. See
yeah,
the town I was raised up in, during that time, we had stores. We couldn't even try on shoes. Okay, check that out. We couldn't try on shoes. We couldn't try on clothes. None of that. Right. We the little town we went in, we could go into all the stores in our little town. But if you got another town we call Farmville, Virginia, we couldn't go to Farmville to Leggett's and try on clothing.
Okay, so
So
Leggett's was a
a
department
department
store,
store.
right? Okay.
Yeah. And even the stores up in Mahern, you couldn't try on shoes. They like the guy in Leggett's, I never forget him. I never forget I was going to Leggett's and I said I'm gonna have the because we used to get shoes from the corner store a lot. The way y'all
Mm,
I call the corner store now, but it's the country store.
the
And
country store. So black people could not put their feet in shoes, couldn't put their body in
nah,
clothes.
nah.
What year
It
was
hurt
this about?
it
What
hurt me
year
to
was
my heart. Well, I was born in 56, so you can just check that
this?
out.
Was
Like,
this was the 50s. Wow.
yeah. And that
Six,
hurt me to my heart because I never forget when they say we going to farm, we get some shoes. I was like, oh God, that's great. We ain't gonna get them from Mr. G no more. You know what I'm saying? I used to get shoes from Mr. G. And I can't make this stuff. They was called David Crockett's. They was they would last forever. You understand what I'm saying? You couldn't mess David Crockett. Even had his face on the top of it. You see. But what happened to me? But when we was going to Farmville to get some shoes, I couldn't wait to put my foot in that scale. You know the scale for the
yeah,
measure. Yeah,
measure your
but
mm-hmm.
that didn't happen because we couldn't do that.
You
You see,
couldn't do that.
so you gotta
Wow.
look at the person foot or feet, and you gotta say, that's about a 6.
Yeah,
Oh, that's about
estimate.
9. Yeah, and
Wow.
now that I look back at that too, a lot of men and women when I was coming up had such things you call corns. You know what corns is?
Yeah, because the shoes were too small
They either was too small or too large.
or too large. Wow.
Right.
Never fit because you couldn't try them on.
You couldn't try them on.
See,
And
that's
my
something that
father had
some of us never went through. I never went through that. That's amazing. Wow.
right. And my father had some 2 big corns. I never forget them. For real. Really big. Because you got to figure, my
You
father was
make me
born
laugh.
in 1886. So
I know he
before
can try on nothing.
he couldn't try on nothing during that time. So he
Mm-mm.
he got a lot of misfits, you know. I
Wow.
never forget. I don't know if people know what corns is. He had to shave the corns and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
you know.
American African, we've been through it. I'm telling you, we've been through it. We have been through it. Wow. That's something here. So you couldn't try on anything. And so let's bring it up to now you have 4 kids
Yes.
and you're a
3 daughters
father,
and 1 son.
3 daughters and 1 son.
Yeah.
And
So my other
how do you negotiate
children.
that in Baltimore?
Say it again.
How are you negotiating being a father? You left the country, so you're up here in the city. You
Right.
got young children in a evolving city that has a lot. Baltimore has gone through a lot when in so many different ways. So how do you navigate that with small Black children?
Well, you know what?
in the 80s.
I like what y'all children say now. Life be life, and so we just got to go along with life. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know, and do the best possible job you can, and really mean it from yourself, mean it from your spirit, to do the best you can, and that's all we really can do. It's not it's not a formula in a way, 1, 2, 3 to do this thing. Like my father said,
it's no manual. It's no manual.
No. But the thing about it, you do learn as you go on, you know.
Yes.
And me and my lady was laughing about it this morning. You know, when we thought we was growing up, we were just little children, not knowing nothing, you know. But you know, life goes on, so you get lessons.
You get lessons. Yeah. Wow. So you also has touched many crowns. Many crowns. So you know, because it's a spiritual thing when you're touching people's head, and you know, you're putting your hand on people's heads. So as a barber, do you find yourself sometimes, you know, touching people's heads, and of course making them look good, but still the you know, this is a very important part of your body. Of course, it carries your brain. And so being a barber and fathering, have you, I know you had to be a father sometimes in the chair, when people are in the chair giving advice, and because barbers touch everything and you hear everything.
Well, yeah, barber is well, I was raised up in a barber shop too. My father was a barber. Okay. And real quick on that, touch on that. He had his own business. He had his own barbershop, which was unheard of, a little bit of a black man owning a business. But we owned some, and then we did pump wood and stuff like that. So I'm a barber. My brother was a barber. My brother before him was a barber. My other brother's a barber. My other brother's a barber. My grandson cuts hair. My daughter does hair. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like in our blood.
Y'all hair family.
Yeah. And then again, you hit back to the community. You see you know. So I cut a lot of people hair where they came in with all types of problems. I mean, sometimes you don't want to ask that person, how you doing today? Because they might just tell you. You understand what I'm saying?
Drop a bomb.
And I had some stories and some very good stories, some sad stories. One of the things that I miss about being in the barbershop, every Saturday morning, we used to call it men. I used to get there at 6:30. So I had clients to come in at 6:30 and all the way up to like 9. So we had a little group we had formed, because some clients would come in early and they would stay there till 12 and we just be talking. Wow. And we had politicians. You understand what I'm saying? We had like, say for instance, if you would have asked me, I needed this to be done, I could point you to that direction, because we had everything that's coming through the barbershop, and that's been like that since time.
Wow. So the barbershop is a huge community, and you know, a lot of things get fleshed out in the barbershop. You know, a lot of talking, a lot of talking, a lot of connections go down in the barbershop. And so and I'm a lady with short hair, so I'm in the barbershop a lot, baby. Exactly. And so and you know what's so amazing to me, Bob, when I'm to hear what men talk about. Like, you know, they say women talk a lot, but when men get together, baby, you just have to be quiet.
That's what I like about the barbershop too, though, because we did now we have what you call a unisex barbershop, right? And we used to call it, no disrespect, we used to call the women the hen house. We used to say, listen to them over there clacking, you know what I'm saying? But we had a very good relationship.
Clack too.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Yeah, y'all talk up a storm. I sometimes they forget I'm there. I'm like, I'm in here, boys. But I like that about the barbershop. It's a family. It's a community.
Yeah, it is. I still call people today that I don't even cut their hair no more, but we still have a relationship.
That's what's up. So you're not cutting anymore. No more cutting for you. You're done.
I have some clients that I, you know, maybe old or something like that, I might cut, but no, I'm not cutting. I'm retired.
You're not cutting.
Like somebody called me the other day and said that I think the father is in the hospital and he needed somebody to cut their hair. So he said, Mr. Wink, will you please cut the hair? Because I used to cut his hair, a young guy. And that's one thing about the barbershop. I've seen generations come through there, and
Absolutely.
and really, you know, it's outstanding. I cut a guy hair now that has grandchildren, and he didn't have nobody when he was a little boy when I was cutting his hair. So stuff like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's almost like a teacher, or educator. You see the parents come through, you teach their children, and so wow, that's
a
amazing.
real quick story. A real quick story about being in the barbershop. And so I'm out Drew Hill Park. This is in Baltimore. I'm out Drew Hill Park doing Tai Chi. And I see this guy come standing looking at us do Tai Chi. And I was like, he stayed there for a bit. And I was like, maybe he wanted, you know, since he's looking, I'm on my sales tip, you know what I'm saying? I told somebody to take over the class, and I was gonna go see did he wanted interested in the class. So when I go up there, and I you know, spoke to him, he said, he smiled. He said, you don't know who I am, do you? And I was like, nah. And I looked through them, and I seen them eyes. Eyes never change. Everything else on the body, eyes never change. Since you're a baby, they never change. They never change. Oh, wow. I like, I kind of sort of know who you is. I said, but you know, you got that beard and everything now. And he started laughing. He said, hey, Mr. Wink. That's what they call me. He said, hey, Mr. Wink. He was sudden. He said, I just want to tell you this. He said, I just want to thank you for changing my life. And I'm like, what? Yeah, and you know, because you do this work, and you study and you do everything. And I had people even ask me, what do you get out of that? What's that gonna do for you? How is that gonna pay you? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. But this young man, he had all white on, like he was in some kind of spiritual thing. I don't know, was he a Muslim then or Hebrew or whatever, right? But he was saying probably wasn't Hebrew because he was talking about Egypt or Kemet. He told me, he said, you changed my life because when you explained the Ankh to me, right? I was telling him about the energies of the Ankh and what it represented. You know what I'm saying? And he from that he went and started studying. And that's when he said, you changed my life. Now I'm like, wow, that's one of the best paydays I ever had. You feel
that's
me?
Amazing. Inspiring people. Yeah. And don't even know you're doing it. You're just sharing information.
Money can't buy that. You see what I'm saying?
Nah, that ain't no money on that. You can't put a price on that right there. So,
exactly.
You know, you segue right into something. You are a 40-year martial artist. How did we get here? Did you learn it in the country? How you start the tech? Because you know, I tried to work with you for a while. I had to get up out of there, but I would love to study under you. So kind of tell you how the dojo. How did that come about?
All right, so we gotta go back a little ways. We're talking about martial arts. So we go back to days of those days of Bruce Lee. Okay, so when Bruce Lee came out, everybody was in love with martial arts. You know, we made nunchuckers out of broom handlers. My mother got so mad at us because every time she get a broom, we'd cut it in half. So she got so mad that she threatened to say, "Don't nobody else cut no broom handle." So we cut our father whole handle. Now you know what a whole handle is, right?
No, you didn't.
Yes, we did. But the thing about a whole handle, it is really heavy. So when you knock yourself in the head, with that,
you would knock yourself up.
You see what I'm saying? So, now this is now you know what corn rolls is in the cornfield. You know what a cornfield is, right?
The long roll.
They have rolls, right? So when you go get the corn, shuck the corn, and it just leave the corn stalks up, right? So now you got to cut the stalks down, right? The stalks down, right?
Right.
I was little now. Don't laugh at me. I was little. So I used to get to see the knife, and I used to go through it because you're looking at Hercules and stuff like that. So I was the warrior, right? So I used to go and cut each one of them down until I got to that roll, come down. So I wasn't working. I was fighting. I wasn't looking at it like I was doing a job. You know what I'm saying? So my father, he said something one day, and he was like, "Oh, I ain't got to worry about that corn getting cut down." He said, "Dennis gonna do that." Meaning that that's what I do. Now I didn't even know I was working. I didn't even know I was working. You know, in this child's mind, I used to go through cutting them down. This is the war. The whole battlefield was here because that's how a battlefield we've seen it. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
In between that, though, that corn, every now and then you got, you know what briars is?
Yes.
Stickers, right?
The stickers. Yeah, the thing.
Sometimes they'll be in between it, and it'll stick my hand. So I'm a child now. So I was like, "Oh, y'all got an enemy in the camp." And I kept that there, you know. So I take that back and I look back. That's my warrior instinct. I always was a warrior minded person, you know.
I like
the Bruce Lee, you know, the cutting stuff down. Yeah, I like touchy. I didn't like. Okay, I tried to play basketball. The guys, I used to knock the guys around. You understand what I'm saying? They're like, so I play football. You know, I junior vibes, nothing heavy because I had a baby coming in a few, so I couldn't do none of that with football and stuff. But football, I like touchy. I love wrestling. You know, I like to get that. I like the feel. Me and my brothers, that's all we did.
Put your hands on somebody.
But I don't like fighting.
Wow.
I never liked fighting. I never liked fighting. I never, and to be real with you, at one time when I was younger, I thought I was what you call a chump, right? Because me and my brothers used to get on it and everything. I knew I could fight, but I never liked to fight. And what I found out was this: I never liked fighting my own people. And I say this because of this. When we got integrated down there, because I went to an all-black school at first, Robert Allen Morton High School in Farmville. People used to fight, and I was like, I didn't dig that. Now, when we got the white people came into school, I started fighting.
Yeah, no problem.
On the school buses and everything. I was fighting these two brothers on the school bus one time. Never forget it. My buddy Wesley Reed, he was my good friend. Wesley Reed now he was the sheriff. He became the sheriff of Mahern, of Prince Edward.
Really?
The first black sheriff. Yeah. And so Wesley, he was a big guy. And so Wesley said, "You need any help?" And I had him here, and I was hitting the white guy, and I smacked one of them. And I know I was in school, and I said I got away with it, cause I know I had to go to the office, cause I knew it was gonna tell me, but I thought I got away with it. But then it came over the intercom. They said, "Dennis Winkler, come to the office." And I went to the office, and I'll never forget it. Mr. Penn was his name. Mr. Penn said, "Did you hit this young man right here?" I said, "No, sir. No, sir." He said, "Give me your hand." And he put my hand against his face, and because he had fingerprints all over his face, because he was a little white boy, right? He had my whole. It could have been anybody's hand, though, but you know he was acting like Columbo or somebody. So that was that you know, and I must explain myself. It's not that I didn't like white folks. But I found out I was black when I was. No, I'm sorry. Let me take that back. I found out because we didn't use black. I found out I was a Negro when I was 7 years old, maybe 7 years old. I found out I was a Negro because of this factor right here. Mr. G, another guy, he was he had the hardware store and everything, you know, clothing, whatever, clothing, what it was. But anyway, he had money, so he built a restaurant for his girlfriend right side his street. That's about on 360. So that's where
Mr. G white. Mr. G was white, or Mr. G was white.
Right, was
Okay.
Jews. Yeah.
Okay.
And he built a truck stop for his girlfriend. So 360 is where all the trucks go up and down, you know, so they
Yes,
could
sir.
rest and go in there. So,
Yes.
and I was like, wow, man, they had a ping pong machine in there, little machines, you know what I'm saying, in there, bowling machine in there. And I was like, wow, I can't wait to go up in there and play the games, right? And this other little white boy I was with, my father used to take his parents to Farmville like on Saturday. You know, they want to go shopping. So my father was hacking before I knew what hacking was. You understand what I'm saying? And he was
Love
a
it.
father. My father was retired from the railroad and everything. So he just did that, right? And so me and this little white boy was really good friends. Really, really, really good friends. And Chatting Two came along, which was the restaurant. And he says, we both talking about going up there. Getting in there, playing them games, because they had that big window you could see right through it. You understand what I'm saying?
Wow, yeah.
Now, yeah, I can't wait to get up in there. But he went the next week, and he went up in there, and he came back telling me his stories, how, you know, it was. Now, like, so now I'm begging my father. I'm begging him, Daddy, please, you gotta take me up there. So one Sunday we get off get out of church, we go to Chatting Two. My father pulls up in the parking lot, and I'm telling him, Daddy, it's a space right there. It's a space right there, you know, where you can park the car at. But he kept going. He kept going. He went round to the back.
Oh,
Yes, round to the back door back there.
you didn't have no idea what was going on.
I had no idea. I told you, I found out that day what a Negro was.
Oh,
And he said, well, no, I'm sorry. He said, color folks not allowed in there. It was even before Negro. That's right. He said, color folks is not allowed in there. He said, we can get food from the back, but we're not allowed to go in there. Now, I just told you the little white boy went in there.
Yeah, he told you all about it.
Huh?
Yeah, he told you all about it.
Yeah, but then I found out that there's a difference between these two people.
Yes.
This little white boy he can do things that I can't do. Now, looking back at it like that, right? So,
right.
the next time I seen him, I say, oh, you think you better than me, huh? And I whipped his ass.
Oh,
You
I didn't
understand?
expect that.
The sad part about this,
Your friend, you whipped the friends?
we was friends, yeah. But
Oh my
when
God.
I learned the formula of him being better than me in the way that I seen it, because I couldn't go and chat and chew because of my color, right? So the next time I seen him, I said, you think you better than me? And I went to whip that butt, right? And of course, now that I look back at it, his grandmother said they not having that. So I was not allowed to take no more trips to Farmville with him. I didn't see him anymore. I was not allowed. She probably told my father, no, that little nigga ain't coming. You know, she probably said that in that day.
No problem. She said
that
it.
little nigga, he ain't coming. He hit my
That
grandson.
nigga can't come back.
So I was not allowed anymore to go on that ride. You understand what I'm saying? But now that I look back at it, I felt the injustice of it, even as a child. You know what I'm saying?
Child, that was your way of dealing with the injustice. He had to get it.
That's the only way I knew. You
That's
know,
your
as
only
a child,
power.
because we're children. I mean, and then I look back at, you know, if you look back at time and look back at slavery, that's why they say white women was devils, more devils than the men could even be sometimes. Can you imagine a little child that got a little white boy, a little white girl, and they supposed to be playing with them like they the dog, and being children, he hit that white child.
Yes.
Can you imagine what happened to that child?
I can't imagine. That shows you, though, how racism is so insidious. It does not even make total sense. To hear your story, it makes no sense, because kids have no thought. Young people, we're teaching this. It's such a crazy concept that just the color of your skin makes you different. It's mind-boggling, but
that was the time. That was the time that I came up in. See, I came up in with Reverend.
Still here though.
Yeah, Reverend Griffin. He was a man like Martin Luther King in our town. He made sure the margins was put together and everything like that. Dr. Griffin was the man, you know what I'm saying? And
Mm,
my sister them got locked up, you know, for the
really?
right. Yeah, yeah.
Protesting?
I wanted to get locked up. My mother said you're too young, but
That was a badge of honor. Hey, that's a
yeah, yeah,
protester.
it was. And we used to go to church, of course, and we used to sing these songs. Ain't nobody gonna turn me around. You understand what I'm saying? Songs like
Yeah.
that. And march, you know, and we use, and that's why I say we need to learn how to go back sometime and visit the past to understand that boycott works.
It
You
was.
ain't gotta do it, you ain't gotta do huh?
But Baba, what you said something though. Like you guys sang songs of power. Now we're making songs that's denigrating us. You know, like I hear what you know, the songs that you said was power up songs. Like, you know, what you singing in church, like ain't nobody gonna turn us around, and so you could be strong and you could fight. And, it's just a difference in times and how things have changed.
Well, with the change, you got to understand that there's always going to be a yin and a yang. You understand?
Ooh,
I
right.
see a lot of you have to look for our stuff a little bit more. We still have
Yes,
positive people. We still have positive music.
we
You
do.
know,
We do. Yes, sir.
positive rap. Some rap. And matter of fact, I think it done made a little flip on the music now since the Super Bowl. You see,
There you go.
since the
Not
Super
like us,
Bowl,
baby.
things have been changed a little bit because lyrics is powerful, words is powerful. You see what I'm saying? And they knew that. So if you can go back when so-called hip hop or rap or whatever you want to call it, when it came out, it was all positive.
They had to break that down.
It was the newspaper of the streets,
It was.
and it had a message in it. So that's why they had to change it. They changed it. You see,
Yeah, a powerful message, and they had to break that down because it was empowering. Yeah,
it's so powerful that I don't want to cuss, but the name of the song was "F the Police."
I want you to cuss. F them.
F the Police.
Yeah.
That song came out.
Easy. Yeah, NWA.
Okay.
Baby.
I don't remember, but I remember. But they banned
that. Was like, that was like 89, I think. 90.
Right.
That came.
They tried to go to the Supreme Court to ban that song.
Absolutely.
They said because words have power, and the children are saying F the police so much, it's gonna happen. But see, they went to the court system or the justice system to change that one song. They left in there, you are bitches, you are whores, you ain't no good.
Nigga. Yeah.
They left all that in there for us to digest.
Exactly. Why not?
You see?
Yeah.
So that's just go to show you how powerful it is, because they ain't want you repeating F the police, because they say that can cause some problems. But
that's part of the system. Yeah, that's part of capitalism. Yeah.
Of course, yeah. And that's why I take my crown off to the brothers and sisters that still making positive music. You just got, like I said, you got to search for it.
You got to search for it. So, we've been here an hour. It don't even seem like it. Your stories are amazing. I love the flow. So I want to hear, like, from, as a father, what do you see that is going to help our community? Because when I say that, I'm looking at how Africa is waking up. Africa is shaking the cage right now.
Burkina Faso.
Burkina Faso and Mali and Nigeria, Botswana, Namibia. We see a lot of revolution going on in Africa. And we see young people too, like you said, after Kendrick's "Not Like Us," and the music is I think making a change, and I think people are, especially now with Trumpy, he's setting it off with this immigration thing we're seeing going on now.
But see, the thing about it is this.
Okay.
Everything has to change and to go through these cycles, right? So we had President Obama, right? Was a black. That was like nobody believed it could even happen. We used to tell our children, "What you want to be?" The little boy said, "President." Like, all right, pick another. You know what I'm saying? So if we have that change, then something else got to change over top of that change. The yin and the yang. So
yes, sir.
now here we have it again where Trump is in power, and really Trump really think he's doing something, and you know what, he is doing something. Sometimes you can do so much where you can bring people together.
Mm-hmm.
We call it in the country, it backfires on you. You understand what I'm saying? So now those people who thought that they were maybe better or even better than so-called, they say this thing, F around and find out. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh,
You see,
yes.
but with the energy that we have now, the energy can't go but so far in its craziness. You have
Mm.
a certain level of craziness that the universe is going to allow to go on, and then that figure 8 has to come in there to change to go to the other side of it. That's why I'm seeing people now, like, where the black folks at? You understand?
At home.
We at home, right? We drinking coffee and everything because we are used to the temperature. We've been in the
Yes.
furnace. You
Yes.
understand what I'm saying?
Sir. You know
It's
the
not
time.
new for us. Okay,
Exactly.
so that's not happening. Okay, that's cool. We got that. You know, because we've been, as you might think, a thing is punishing you at that time might be getting you ready for this time.
You better say. Your son said, "Teach, Baba." Nah, I'm with you.
Nah,
He's dropping
not for real
jewels.
though. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Trump is exactly what he is, you know,
Yes.
and he said he was gonna do what he's doing, you know,
Absolutely.
but at the same
Yes.
time, that negativity that's in the universe has to change over to positive. And if you see it going a little bit each time. Now people, you know how we used to say, don't talk about a brother unless you walk a mile in the moccasins, right?
Right.
And that went for the Indian brothers and sisters too. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Yes.
some people don't know the walk we had to walk, even the fire that we had to touch. You know what I'm saying? So they never got burnt before. You see? So
So
now they feel
now
the
they
they
get burnt.
look, and they ain't even burnt now. They just feeling the heat.
Oh, you better say it. They ain't
You
even
see what
got
I'm
torch
saying?
yet.
Yes.
Yes.
Touch, but but
Yes.
but but everything is coming around full circle where it's supposed to be because organizations is getting together. Like I shout out to our organization, the Temple of New African Thought.
Shout
Uh,
out.
yeah, shout out, and is that Dr. Dennis Winkler, which is my son, and
Dr. Doc.
yeah,
Yep.
and
Hmm.
he's doing some wonderful work down there. You got
Wonderful.
BLM that's doing wonderful work in Baltimore, Maryland, and you got a lot of other organizations. Now, my thing has
Yes, sir.
always been this: we got all organizations pieces out, but sometimes we need to just come together as one to do one thing.
That's it. That's
Just
it.
to do one thing.
I think
You
that would be so powerful. We all can bring because we have so much talent. So much thought, so much good people. We could bring this thing to one movement. It's hard.
not one movement. That's not going to work because you're always going to have chiefs and stuff over here. One movement in
Ooh,
the way of developing something. You understand what I'm saying?
okay.
Because people
Like
always want to
developing
stay
this
in the
one thing.
block. And you
Got
know
it.
what? I did not.
Got
I had never. I know this going off the other direction, but I said block. When I seen The Wire, I never could find in my mind that a person never left the block.
it. It's happening. It is
That's
happening. I've met people who live on East Baltimore who's never been on West Baltimore. I've met
yeah.
them.
I never
I can't believe it. Yeah.
nah.
I can't even I can't even phantom that, but it has happened where you stay right in 4 block radius. You don't go far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
You stay with
because you know nothing else, and you feel
yeah.
comfortable, as my son would say. But
Feel
I
comfortable.
have 3 daughters also, and they all are wonderful. Let me
That's
say a little
beautiful.
bit about them. I don't want to get a whipping tonight. My daughter, my oldest daughter is Latanya
The time.
Winkler, yes, and Mahisha Winkler, but Smith now, and then you have Tamika, she's a Winkler, and all of them basically almost work for themselves. My daughter Tamika, she worked for McCray, Senator McCray, and
Okay.
she does a wonderful job. I heard from the people down there. You know what I'm saying? And my
Job.
my oldest daughter, she has a job she work, but she also is a entrepreneur. She do hair. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Hair for a long time. And then I have
Okay.
my daughter Mahisha. She has a job also now, but she also is a decorator. You need her for parties or stuff, setups and stuff. That's what she do. She have her own stuff. So my thing, and my son, of course, he has the Tenet Wellness Center. He also
Yes.
is he help you upstairs in the mind. I always tell people when I do my little rap, my little sales thing, I used to say, well, our family business down there, we work for the whole body. I said, my son can get
Yeah.
you right up top. I said, my
Mm-hmm.
daughter-in-law, you come for your stomach. You understand what I'm saying? She
Yes.
can get you right for that.
Yes.
Then if you come down the lower level, I get your body, your whole body right. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
a system.
They'll put everything in line. I love that.
And
It's
and it fell in line, yes, yeah. And but
yeah.
like I say, I just had a new great grandchild coming to the world too. So don't ask me the name yet. Like I say, a new. But
That's beautiful though. Boy or girl?
a young a sister, a little
A
queen,
little
yeah,
girl. Oh, that's
yeah.
so beautiful.
But my
So
thing is this: life always gonna be what you think it is, And if you think things is really bad, things probably would be bad for you. Reflect. Not saying to be, you know, naive and don't see the things around you. You know what I'm saying? But understand that life comes with lessons. And I love how the young children say, life be life. And you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But
Yes, sir.
I think as a people, it's nothing that this time is nothing we never been through. So that's why we not even kind of worried about that. We've been ready for this. We've been we tough skinned it. And that's what the people say.
We've been groomed.
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
new to this. We true to this. So we see what's going on and we watching it. And
And
I hope
say it again.
we're building alliances. And I hope we're building alliances with each other so we can respond. Because there will always, with this catastrophe, there's some greatness can come out of the back of that.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
I hope we're prepared. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Get prepared.
we are prepared. See, people are asking us why aren't we out there helping them? I mean, because I
Yes,
look
sir.
at YouTube, I listen to the whole world. I'm like, wow, see how powerful we really are.
We're so
And
powerful.
because
Following our blueprint.
if those black sisters really wanted to get out there, because they'll come out there and they'll grab us out there. You understand what I'm saying? But Mama said,
Absolutely.
no, we're not going out there because the first thing to be about it is that those rubber bullets would turn into real bullets. You see?
Things will change when the brown skin come. That's
And
right.
not saying that the brown skins ain't out there now, but they don't know it.
But not
Some
in
of them.
numbers that they normally this protesters. These are white and light brown protests. And there are black people, but I understand that we know our assignment right now. We got to grow within.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah. It's very important. Listen, I told you that you would be what this series needs to open the doors. Your stories, the history, what you laid down tonight. We've been here an hour, 18 minutes, and I want more. I just
No.
I just know that people don't have bandwidth.
Right.
So
That's
yeah,
right.
so that they're not gonna watch it. So I really enjoyed everything you brought to the table.
I
You have
appreciate it.
inspired me also in so many ways, just being who you are.
Well, they say the truth
It,
don't take no thinking about it. See,
it
you
don't.
gotta think about it.
You ain't got to think about it. So I really appreciate your
I appreciate
contribution
you
to that.
having me on. Yeah.
Yeah, and definitely opening up this series. We got 2 more young fathers coming. We got Akewi Barnes, the Park Heights mayor, young father, coming on next Monday.
Okay.
And then we have Darnyle Wharton. Darnyle Wharton is a pretty young father too. He's a man of the movement. Also, he's on the streets of Baltimore doing a lot of good work. So he'll be in on the 24th. So we got 2 more fathers coming. But listen, Baba, we give thanks for you. We give thanks for your life and what you bring to the table. And keep doing what you're doing. Even when you walk in the door, you say something. I just want you to know that. You don't even got to say nothing. You even got to say nothing.
You say keep doing what you're doing, but guess what? I can't even help it.
Can't help it.
I can't help it because I love my people so much. You know, I want them to love themselves a little more. You know, but yeah, because see, we've been taught to hate ourselves, so I have to even look at the damage that's been put upon us. You know, it's not just that. You know, but we as a whole people have been through so much. You know, and we come out the flame of fires. You know, and we still doing it. We are that I call us, this is me, I call us the grass people. You know, like grass.
Yeah.
Because they can try to cover us over with the concrete and everything. But you look through that crack and you see that grass coming right on up. And that's us. You know what I'm saying? Because we can withstand anything and everything. You know, and I seen a brother the other night ask, what you call that what's that? Chat
GPT?
Yes.
And where it said about it would come back as a black person. I heard it again. It's amazing.
So I did the same thing. So I did the same thing, and it came back with a similar story. But the main thing that it said was this though. He said, I would not come back as I'm coming back as an original, not a product of the original. That's what it said. You see,
original black man.
The original human man. The original human man. No color in it, because this thing we get this thing from color, religion, spirituality. They branch it off of so many things, you know. And I'm a little bit about my spirituality.
Go ahead.
Okay, just a little bit about it. My father was the head deacon of the church. Levi Baptist Church is where I come from. And my father was a head deacon, and you know, everybody got to get baptized. So every year the clock goes around. When the time to get baptized, you even raise your hand or you go up front. I never did it. You understand what I'm saying? So, and the other children didn't do it, but you got to do it by 12. They're gonna put you up front to get baptized. Oh yeah,
by 12 years old.
Yes, you see what I'm saying? Because Jesus, at the age of 12, blah blah blah, he went away. You see what I'm saying? So I never forget when I got baptized. Right, the children was dumping in the water and they was coming out shouting and doing their thing, you know. And in my time to go in there, and he dumped me, and I came out, and I was looking for that, what they got, the shout.
Yes.
And it didn't come. And so my mother came over, and I told my mother, you know, give it a towel, I'm cold. She wiped me off. She was very happy that I got baptized.
Yes.
Now, in my child's mind, which I don't know why I thought like that, but now I know why I thought like that. I was like, so God, where you at?
What happened?
You came for all those other little children, but you ain't come for me. Why you ain't come? And then I said, now I'm in the backseat of the car riding home. I'm back there saying this to myself. I said, my father, the head deacon of this church. And you ain't come with me when you came from all those other children.
You didn't come see me.
You ain't come see me. Now, this where the part can get tricky, and you can do damage to yourself if it lasts too long. But then I said, if I'm not a child of God, I must be a child of the devil. See, now why my mind thinking like that as a young child? I have some ideas now. But
wow.
That I pondered on that for a minute, you know. And the only reason I got through that part is that because they say that God forgive all things or whatever like that. So I knew he would forgive me why he didn't choose me that day. But I knew he would forgive me in some time. But see, that was a child of mine. a child mind.
Yeah.
You understand? Thinking like that, you
Yes.
know.
Think
And
about that. Yeah.
yeah. But now I know. Fast forward. I went, on my conscious days. Dr. Ben Johanna. Peace
Yes.
be upon him. Energy. Um, he was the one that really woke me up. Thanks to my buddy Joe Cole. I must peace be upon him. Rest in peace. He had a library in the back of his in the back of his apartment, and I went back there to use the telephone. Grr, 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 if I was calling my lady, let her know that
Yeah.
I'll come home. And I seen all these books back there, and so I asked him about the books, and we just started talking. So Joe gave me the light. My light had
Mm,
been flickering, right? But
right.
he helped me light that torch, right? And through the
Right.
books, I started reading Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben. Dr. Ben was my man, my main resource. And I never forget that what helped me cross over, because you got to cross over, because I got Jesus on one arm, and then I got all this other stuff going over here, and I'm split between my upbringing, and I'm split between
Yeah.
spirituality. And I'm like, man, I don't know what to do, but I know I like this over here. This is feeling good to me, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And so I did what any Christian child mind would do. I said, God,
Mm-hmm.
I ain't touching no books. I ain't touching nothing else. I'm looking for a sign for you. See, I got that from my people.
Mm,
So I sat back for 2 weeks at the most, and I didn't do no reading, nothing else. But what happened, I started getting more brothers and sisters talking about these books and all this kind of stuff, and everything just For the People was coming on TV. You know what For the People is?
no, what's
Go
for the
back and look
people?
at it. It's on YouTube. Everybody, go look for For the
I'm
People.
looking at y'all. Look up for the people.
Heck, Militant is his last name. Militant. For the People. Just look back at it, and they was dropping knowledge, so much knowledge. Man, it was like so good. That's when I went to see Dr. Ben for the first time down East
Mm,
Baltimore. So John Douglas down that way, yeah. And I never forget it. I didn't even know buses did. I caught the 36, which went down to Kirk Avenue. Now excuse me. I didn't know how to catch the bus, put it that way. So I caught the 36 down to the Kirk Avenue, down there where the bus stations used to be down there. And I walked from
yeah.
there. Didn't know any other bus to catch. So I walked from there to Sojourner Douglas, because I didn't know
Oh,
no
that's a
bus.
heck of a walk.
That
Woo,
was
that's a
I
good
was
walk.
going to see Dr. Ben. Look, I was going to see Dr. Ben and didn't care. I had all the energy in the world. I even had dress shoes on for Dr. Ben that night. You understand what I'm saying?
Woo,
And I was going
that's
to
a
wear
heck of
dress
a walk,
shoes.
bro.
But
I'm like, you're gonna be like your dad with some coins.
that
Wow.
was one of the best walks that I ever had, because I got to see Dr. Ben that night, and
Wow.
Dr. Ben was so pleasant and so down to earth, and that started my journey of that's when I said to myself, okay, so this is what it is, God. So this is my path to go ahead and dig into whatever I want. So, and my journey, I studied a lot of different cultures, a lot of different belief systems, because I was looking for the true God. That was my mission, to find the true God. And so after a while, I did find the true God. And you want to know who that true God is?
Of course, you better. You know the question. You
The
know the
true
question.
God was in any belief system that believed in the God that they had. You understand what I'm saying?
So it could be God, it could be Yahweh, whatever you
Whatever
think
your belief
you
system
believe.
is, you believe in it. That's you, right there.
Buddha,
And
got it.
I went through all of that. I went through all that. But I fell in love with Tibet. I must say, for a minute, I was a Tibetan for a long time, because I liked the way that everything is just, it is. It's the way. You understand what I'm saying? Nothing more. It's just the way the grass grows. It's the way the earth is. It's the way. It's just the way, you know. And I thought that to be pretty good. So I stayed in Tibet for a long time reading, you know. And then after I digest a lot of other books, I came to the agreement with myself that I didn't need any of those books. I needed those books to get to where I am today. I needed something to get me there because I was thirsty for a lot of spiritual books. I was thirsty for a religion because I come from a religious family.
Yeah.
So I gotta find this thing. I gotta find God. That's what it was. I gotta find God. And so like after I found God everywhere, and people believed that they believed in what they believed in, so I said, okay, I get it. I get it. It is whatever you believe in it to be. But I believe now it to be, it has no name. It don't have time to give a name. So I call it, to the best in English terminology that I know, I call it the all.
The all. Hey, that the all, that is it.
That's it.
You ended us. Hey, you ended us on the all. Oh,
and
wow.
That's all I got to say.
That's it.
Thank you for having me on your show tonight. I appreciate it.
Listen, I appreciate you opening the series. I know you're a phenomenal father. Because I see, you know, when you see people's children, you see the parent, they emulate the parent. It's just that. And so I know you're a phenomenal father, a phenomenal Black man. Your presence is very heavy when you walk in the room. So I really appreciate you coming on, sharing these stories and history. You dropped some history in here, Baba. You dropped some history. Yeah, some things I didn't know. I'm learning from you. I always have. I appreciate you. And listen, you gotta. I'm gonna call you again. You're gonna come back and see me for. It's gonna be a minute, but you're gonna come back in and drop some more jewels one time.
No worries. Yeah. As long as I
so
got
we appreciate.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm here.
As long as you got the energy. I love that.
Yeah.
All right. So listen, I appreciate Dr. Dar was in here and DJ Abu Jamal came through. He good brother. That's a good brother. This is what he put at the end. That's him. I call him the Temple Shrine. Amin,
Ashe.
Yeah. Salam, shalom. I don't know what SMIB. What's that, SMIB? I'm not familiar with that. That's a little above my little brain. I got to find out what that is, brother Abu. I definitely got to find out what that is. But listen, it's been a pleasure having you. I appreciate you, and I'll see you on Sunday. You won't see me, but I'll see you.
All right. Okay. All right. Got you. And peace and power to the whole world and the universe. They say, the saying, I leave it this: only when you forget that you're a human, when you can become a god. Ashe.
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 Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Bobby. Bobby, you still there?